started recording this a little bit late, and I already had a position here, and I have, let's see, I got in at 1482 is my average right now, but I actually got in with 500 shares earlier, and I added. So I'm at 1482. This dip right here, I have an order sitting out at, you can't see it right now, I'll give it a minute. I had an order sitting out there on the limit to catch this washout, and it almost filled me. I think my order was at 15 or 1401 or something like that. So what I like to do is I'll grab on a move up and add into a winner, and then when I add to this winner, I've kind of messed up my average a little bit here. It's at 1482, which is still a good average, but if I can get a better one on one good washout, and so I'll give myself one add. I have a couple of fishing orders here. In case it washes really hard and it comes down, it cracks back down to this support. So I have one at 1351, I think, too. But as you'll see here, I don't get the chance. So you can see here, like on these really thinly traded stocks, that the matrix isn't as much of an advantage as it is on the thickly traded ones, but I actually have a level 2 up on another screen. You just can't see it here. And then there's the breakout. So now that it's broke out somewhere in here, there you go. See, I'm canceling my fishing orders. Now that it's broke out, these things are no longer valid. I'm looking for other levels. See, now that it's broke out my my add orders for a little bit better, I'm still looking to add to this. But these are not realistic at this point. I'm going to be like getting out of this position, taking profits, stopping out, whatever, if it comes down here. These are just not realistic. So I've put out another ad right here at like 1554, I think is what I had right here. And I'm pretty sure I click on this here in a minute to pop it up. And so you see this price action. You see how, you know, playing these whole dollars. I mean, this thing moves from 16 to 17, and then it pulls back, and everybody panics and sell, 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 sell. I'd love to catch these washouts back here to support like 15, yeah, 1558. There we go. So I'm getting just above this, looking at 1550 to hold, and I'm trying to get this 1558 fill. And then the ultimate would have been down here, but I don't think it's valid at this point. So if I'm looking for that 1558 fill, and I might even add down here because I'm in small. I'm risking off of this 14 level. So here's where it starts to go against me at 1482, and I got the fill. See that? Come down, hit hard at 15. So I could have got the fill as low as 15. Oh, it looks like I even threw out another order there. That's what I did. Okay, I remember doing it now. I was pretty excited to actually have it down that low. So I got the 1552, 1558 fill, and then I turned around and I grabbed another 1,000 shares with a market order while it was down under that 1552 to get me a little bit better average. It happened so fast. So, and then I sold the 2,000 shares. So all I was looking for was a better average. And then I got out of that 2,000 shares because at this point I'm starting to feel like this thing might crash. And so I just used that ad to get me a better fill, a better average. And then I sold 2,000 shares in the money, and I'm down to 1,000 again. And at this point I'm seeing this lower high, and I'm not sure yet. So that's why I just went ahead and mitigated some risk right there. I still feel like it's going to run. I haven't got out. In fact, I'm putting orders out here. 1426. I'm getting ready for the big washout. See, 1,000 shares at 1426, 2,000 at 1356. So I'm getting ready for this big washout here. That's what I think is going to happen. I'm not getting all out of my position. I will hold this as it comes through, or I will load this market. And if it really cracks this 15, I might get out, but probably not. No, there we go. See, I put another order at 15. So I'm looking to add. If this thing comes down, I can get here, 1426. So I'm looking to catch this, and I'm also looking to catch this, because I think it's going to wash out here. But I'm not confident enough, so I'm still holding this 1,000 shares. So I don't know if you see the position that I'm in. This is a win-win for me. I've got 1,000 shares. If this thing runs, I'm in. And boom, there it goes. See, if it runs, I'm in. If it didn't run, I get a nice washout and a big fill. Yeah, and so here we go. And now you'll see I start canceling all these orders here pretty soon. I got this little 100 share fill. I forgot it that I even had it out there for a short. I was so busy focusing on this. I'm glad it was just 100 shares. But you see how well that worked now? I have these orders out to catch me the perfect fill if I get it, but I'm already in with 1,000 shares. Okay, so I sold half. I sold half, took some profits right there, and I think I just locked in. So I was up like 6 grand. I took half. All right, okay, there we go. I'm clipping this and putting it on Twitter. And it looks like this is during the halt. See how everything's scrambling over here and the matrix is empty. And that's what it is. So this is where it got halted. And that's right when I posted this. So I still have my orders out. Look down here at the orders while I'm waiting on me to click this and move it. See my orders down there? I have an order for 1,000 shares at 2011. So I'm really looking for this washout after the halt. Boom, and I got the fill. Now, if I would have went big right there, oh, that would have been nice. But I was playing it safe. I just played it safe on this. But look at that fill. It came down. It filled me at 2011. And immediately right back up. And I sold that 1,000 shares into that pop again. So I'm still holding a core position. Still holding a 500 core position. And then I got all the way out. And if I was playing bigger, I wouldn't have got all the way out. I just didn't want to miss out on that. So I'm still looking to get back in. As you can see, I still have these positions out there. I realize that 20 is the key level here. It's probably going to play off of this 20 support, for the rest of the day, likely. But just in case we get this big panic right here, I went ahead and leave these washout long orders, these wash long orders down here. I'd love to see this washout going back, but it's not looking that way. So right now I'm just giving it a little bit of time, waiting to see how it reacts here. If it starts to flag up, it look like it could go long. So 20. Okay, so I put a order out. Oh, that one's the one that got filled. Never mind. So I get back in here somewhere. My computer was stalling out right here is what it is. My computer's being really slow. Okay, there it was. I had an order at 22. You just can't see it because my computer's stalling out. So anyway, I just didn't see the fill. So I put it out just at the whole number. I got filled at 22 even. So I'm back in with 1,000 shares at 22. Still have the fishing orders at 20. So if this thing crashes, I'm up 6 grand or so at this point. I'm willing to risk the day's gains. So it's one of the things that I'd like to do. I don't mind at all. It's like I haven't closed the day. So these gains are not really locked in for me. And I will play bigger size. I will risk my gains for the day for a home run trade. So at this point, I'm in 1,000. This kind of price action doesn't come along on every stock. I wouldn't just do this on any stock. It has to be a certain one. So the way this thing's acting, and we get this tank down to 20, and I have 2,000 shares sitting at 20, and it never gets there. It freaking halted. This is the other halt on the way down. So this was the halt on the way down, and I think I do end up getting this fill. And once again, though, I get the fill, and it's like I can't just get a fill this whole trade. Like I can't just get a fill and then get an immediate pop. I get fill for a bigger size, and it looks like it's gonna fall apart right after I get my size. And so you'll see me just toss it to mitigate risk. And that's one of my strategies is like once I get full, so I did get the fill. I got the 2052 fill. I have 3,000 shares now at a 2053 average. So I got 2,000 shares at 20 again on that pop. So then this is something that I'll do is if I want to see an immediate run here in my favor, right? I want to be in the money pretty quick here. My average is 2052. If I don't see that and I feel like this thing's going to fail, especially with size, I want to get out again. Okay. That's just how I do it. If I'm in with size, I want to see it run quick. And so it does finally break past my entry and it's flirting around it. So I can't remember. I'll just shut up. I can't remember exactly what happens here. I think this is where it fails, and I took a little bit of loss. Okay, so I think I just did it real quick. I took 1,000 shares off in case it does fail, and then another 1,000 shares. I just did market order. So I just took those 2,000 shares off because if it does fail here all the way down to, you can see my order at 3,000 shares at 1681. If it does fall all the way to there and give me that beautiful fill, I don't want to be in with 3,000 shares and lose, $3 with 3,000 shares. So I'm down to 1,000 shares. And even then with those sells right there, they were almost break even. So it didn't really, it might have took it down a little bit, but as you can see, I'm not even paying attention to the P&L. I'm just playing the trade. I just know I don't want to risk 3,000 shares all the way to that level. So 3,000 shares at 1681 still there in case this thing could pop and hit that support. See that if it could drop down here and give us this support at 1681. And that's what I'm doing is I'm looking at candles right now, trying to see what they are, trying to figure out my washout orders, where I want to set them. It's just flirting around my average at this point. And honestly, I know I'm sitting here hoping, man, I'd love to see this thing wash out. I like those big, fast $2, $3 washes and get me a gorgeous fill at that support level. I figured I had a second, so I stopped and got at that TMUS trade and just got out of it. I wasn't even wanting to be in it anyway. So I'm still holding that 1,000 shares, and looks like I paused it. Now it's finally starting to break out. Here we go. That's what I did, is I just paused the video for a while or something. So I still have the fishing order, or the long limit order sitting out with 1681 in case we get that washout. I get a better fill. And as you can see, my computer is like stalling, especially when I record video. I might have to upgrade soon. When I record my screen, I can't have very much going on. Like my computer does all kinds of stuff, no problem. But as soon as I start recording my screen, it like makes everything lag. So it makes it really hard to trade live or to record my screen live when I'm trading because everything stalls. Anyway, so I've got a 2154. So you see, I've got that better fill order. 2154. So if we get this drop back down here real quick to this support level, that's what I'm checking right here. See it? If we get the drop back to this support level, I'll get a little bit better average. So I've got that not fishing order, but I've got this order sitting out there at 2154. Let's see if it gets filled. I can't remember. And there it goes. Boom. Got the fill. Big panic. And once again, like, I'm okay here. I'm all right with this little wash. But once again, now I finally got a little bit of size, and we get some panic going. Now that I have size, I'm still really believing in this 20 level. I don't think I'm ready to give up on it yet. But again, I'm going to mitigate risk if it doesn't break and run pretty quick. And I think this is where I hang on to this one here, if I remember right. It got me in the green pretty quick, if I remember right. And so maybe not. I can't remember. So at this point, I'm kind of holding for the 20. I'm not gonna let 2,000 shares go all the way down to 1681. I'll have market ordered in my execution. I have market ordered for 1,000 at least. I know, maybe 2. But again, see, once I get just add a little bit of size, it's right at that moment where it's flirting with a certain level and it can't make up its mind. And if it does that for too long, I'll just mitigate risk and get out of most of the position or half of the position, or just get down to 1,000 shares, because I don't mind a $1 swing or $2 swing with 1,000 shares. It doesn't bother me. I'm already up whatever, 8 grand or 9 grand or something at this point. Maybe even more. I was up 13 at one point. I gave some back on that last big wash. So I think I might have been up around 9 grand at this point. So, I'm willing to risk 3 grand or 6 grand or whatever for that home run setup. I just couldn't ever get it. Like you see the 3,000 shares sitting down there. I mean, I'm willing to get the good size. Like that one big washout when I got at 20, I should have had bigger size on that. I should have took that one. Rather than just having a couple thousand or whatever I had there, I should have had you know, at least 5,000 shares sitting there, because that was the best washout of all after that first halt. So it's a little bit over mine here, and if I remember right, this is where it's still kind of building this nice big flag. See, it's building a nice big pennant or a flag. So I'm taking a look at another stock over there. It's building this nice big flag or pennant. Oh, I was taking a look at Tiva for someone that was DMing me. Yeah, that's another one I had mentioned earlier to someone that had DM'd me. Play these nice, safe, easy ones for Tiva. It was around 1170. Be a nice entry. So I still have the 2,000 shares. I'm good down to 20. My 2103 average, and I'm good as long as the thing can hold 20. I'm comfortable with it, and that somewhere in this point it breaks out again. I think this is it when I'm holding. So we get this little dip close to 20 and then a bounce off of it, and I think this is where she rips. Yeah, starting to. But see how this pennant is set up here? You know, and it just compresses and compresses and compresses until it gets really tight at the end, and it usually pops one way or the other. And here we go. Now I think this is where we get that high day push all the way through, if I remember right. And I sell half at the high day. But let's see. Yeah, so I'm looking at these levels here, thinking about where to sell this first half, seeing how it reacts to it. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm up $5,000 at this point right here. $7,000. Oh, $3,000. Sorry. So I just sold 1,500 shares. So I sold 1,000, and then I sold another 500 before it reversed. So I'm just holding 500 shares. Canceled an order. Looks like I had a fish in order or a drop order. Oh, I canceled that big one down at the bottom. So I have a 500 share order at 23, and I replace it with 1,500 shares. I remember at this point it's getting ready to set up. See, I'm kind of showing it. So like this level right here, I mean, it has this level right here. That's my washout level, and you can see that 1,500 at 23. So I just put it out there at the whole number. It looks like it's flagging and it's setting up for a high day push. So I'm wanting to get this, hopefully maybe this one last 1,500 shares drop here to 23 to give me a better average. And at this point I'm up. And it does get me the drop. Just I was being greedy with the 23. If I would have done even, you know, a little bit higher, like 23.50, right above this support, I would have got my fill, I think. Maybe I do get it. I can't remember. But see, I like this, the way this is just building another flag right here. So it's building another pennant. It's flagging up, getting ready to bust through that high day. It's real bullish. Loving it. Loving this action. And I'm thinking about grabbing another 500 shares right here, even though chasing size. Boom, there it goes. I still haven't grabbed any size. So now that it's broke out, I'm checking these levels. I'm changing my order. I put another 500 shares at 26. See that? Now that it's broke out, I want to hurry and get my order out there so I can get a better fill. I still have the 1,500 at 23, so I'm willing to let it drop all the way to 23 to get that bigger size fill, but I want more at 26. So 500 at 26, and it just doesn't look back. I think this is where it goes all the way to 28. So when it heads for that high day, so at this point I've canceled all of them because they're really not valid. If it cracks now, I feel like it's just going to be done and over with. So I've canceled all my ad orders, and I'm just thinking, you know what, I'm just going to hang on to this 500 and I'm going to sell it as close to high day as I can get. And I think if I remember, I was picturing 30. And then seeing the way it started acting here around 28, I started feeling like 30 just wasn't in sight, and I'm pretty sure I get out here shortly. Yeah, somewhere right in here. Let's see. And I just mark it out in that last 500. Boom. I almost top ticked it. Okay. So at this point, I'm all out. You see my buy order at 26. I still have that at 26. I'm looking for that washout to 26. Boom. And you see how well that works? Man, I got it. See that fishing order? You get down there and you be the first in the queue, and it comes down, nails you. And I do think that this is where, at this point, I had locked in, realized 13,000, I think. And let's see. And so I got rid of the wash orders, and I think this is where it does pretty big fill. I can't remember. So I have no fill order, so obviously I've got that 26 fill from that washout. It's looking like a good possibility it's going to break here, and I think this is where it fails and finds its way back down quite a ways. And I end up kind of giving up on this thing. And then I take one more at that last 24 dip. We'll see. I think I end up taking a loss on this because I'm thinking it's going to break. So it's building another flag. It's trying to build this flag here. It's holding this 26. You know, everything about this is still really bullish. Still in, still watching. And I'm looking at that fill, trying to get one more fill down here at that 25 level, which was really good support. Thinking about taking that one. And then I think right around in here, it's like I'm starting to think, you know what, if this thing keeps doing these lower highs, we're setting up the backside, and I'm gonna stop buying dips. And I think I might do it one more time here. Pretty sure this is the one I take a loss on and it goes down to 24. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because it's still, I mean, it's not a pretty sight, right? It's still building this. But the fact that it's holding this support right here, as long as it's holding this support, I'm still feeling pretty good about it. But you notice I don't have any fishing orders out, right? So I'm not really trying to add to this. I just want to see if we actually bounce off this 25.50 or if we break it and set up a new lower low. I mean, I can't really think what my thought process was. And that little curling action, I think it's just 50-50 at this point, you know? I'm up 3 grand and or 13 grand and I'm thinking, you know, it still could go either way. You never know with this kind of price action, dollar swings, you know, big spreads. I mean, it can lose $2 here right now just in 10 seconds, 15 seconds, or it could just pop right through high day. So, and then the fact that it does this and it comes down and holds that 25, you know, I was still thinking, oh, you know, that's a real bullish sign. It's holding that. So there's still hope for it. So I didn't get out at this point. I was still thinking that, you know, there's a possibility this thing could run. It held that 25. See, it didn't set up a lower low. So this was 26, 25.50. I would have expected this to be 25. If it did that, you know, it's just a lower low. These are all getting lower. It's just a bearish sign. I'd just be getting out. But the fact that it keeps holding this support right here, right now, it's just kind of building another flag. And I'm hoping that we're just spring loading right here. We're going to hold this 25.50, and it doesn't. Boom. And you can just tell that's when I just like, okay, that's it. I just gave up. This is the backside. And I don't touch it again. And I don't even know if I capture this last trade. Nope. I don't touch it again until it gets all the way down like 24ish, and then it makes that second run. And that's it. Have any questions? Reach out to me on Twitter.